Welcome to the Pool Nation podcast, where it's all pool talk. And we ain't talking about netting and jetting or splashing and dashing. We're talking about becoming a nation of pool pros. We talk about the latest products, trends, and training in the pool industry. Now let's welcome your host, with over a decade of industry insider experience and still the reigning champion of Marco Polo, Edgar de Jesus, and his co-host, John JJ Flawless, the fastest netter in the West, and Zac the Pool Boy Nicholas.
What? Welcome, everyone.
Third time's a charm.
What? Third time's a charm. Welcome, everyone, to the Pool Nation Live podcast. I am your host, Edgar de Jesus, and yes, I am the reigning champion of Marco Polo, along with John JJ Flawless, the fastest netter in the West, and the famous Zac, the Pool Boy Nicholas. And today, yes, we are in studio with the Cannonball King himself, Mr. Spider.
Every time, man. Wow. Here we go. Let me try it again. There we go.
Wow, Spider. Is it because we haven't? No, we were here last week.
I wasn't here last week.
Oh, that's true. You weren't here last week, so he didn't have practice to press the little water button, right,
No.
Spider?
All right. Well, we have a whole new system in here, which is awesome. I love it.
Oh.
However, it's still pretty new.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not totally experienced with it yet, so we still get mistakes exactly like that one.
So what they figured that they would do is like, hey, Robby's coming back, right? So let's kind of test it while Robby's here.
Love it. I mean, new systems
So
are great.
new systems are great. We were talking about new systems.
let me tell you.
Yeah. Behind the scenes, we can't share, but yeah, new systems we're not a fan of, right?
Spider, I understand not finding the button.
But yours was a little bit of a bigger, than just a button. So, so we want that fixed.
Yes, sir.
That one's important.
Definitely need.
Hey, today we have Robby Walker and Michael Villegas from Solenis in the studio, and yes, we are going to get into hot water. Spas, hot tubs, and cold plunges. We're going to break down how water chemistry actually works, why it behaves differently than a pool, and what it takes to service it the right way. But before we do that, I want to welcome everyone to our live podcast, a podcast where it's all pool talk. And we ain't talking about netting and jetting or splashing and dashing. We're talking about becoming a nation of pool pros. And yes, we will talk about the latest products, trends, and training in the pool industry. But before we get started today, I want to thank our visionary partners for this podcast, the SPPA, BlueRay XL, AquaStar Pool Products, Natural Chemistry, Raypak, Heritage Pool Supply, Hayward Pool Products, PoolSide Tech, Pool Brain, EnCore Brands, Nidec, and OnCore Filtration. We want to thank them for their continued support. Mr. Zacharias, what's going on?
That was quite the turnaround you had there. You kind of came out of the gate with some struggles, but you really...
I cleaned it up.
Yeah, that was awesome.
So it's almost like I've done it once or twice, right?
You think, and there's no system, there's no new system excuse for you. You've been doing the same thing.
Yeah. Well, it is the new system in the back,
Yeah,
right?
throwing
So
you off a
yeah,
little
it doesn't allow my teleprompter or no?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying. So how you doing, Zach?
I'm good. Excited to be here. Had fun hanging out yesterday with you guys, and getting into the spa side of things. For me personally, we don't do spas, so it's not something that like we actively think about, but I have to remember, like, this is a huge side of the industry, and there are different considerations when it comes to dealing with spas. And it was really interesting. I know we're going to get into a lot of it, but hearing some of the history on it and things like that is like, I didn't know any of that. So I'm excited to really get in and dive into that today. And this morning we tried to take you guys out for some dirty chais, but they didn't bite.
They didn't bite, right? They didn't bite on the whole dirty chai thing.
Yeah.
We were.
Oh.
John would be a little disappointed.
Yeah.
We're trying to live life clean, okay?
Yeah.
It's just, you try to take them out to get some fun. I took them, everybody listening, which, by the way, if you guys don't know, like, the summer moon is a thing for us.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
And I took them to summer moon, and Robby comes back for the second time, and he goes, I'll pass on the moon milk. Can I get some heavy whipping cream? And I'm like, what?
I'm still living off the sugar off the last one from a year ago, okay? You haven't had moon milk? Get you some moon milk, and you'll be living for
You'll set for life.
365 days.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that was too intimidating.
That was too intense. It was too intense.
Yeah, too intense.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, So, Robby, welcome back. How are you?
Thank you for having me. Wonderful, wonderful. I don't think I asked this last time with the introduction. I mean, it's, we got Pool Boy, we got John, the fastest netter, and then Edgar's just the Marco Polo champ. Like, there's no work, all play.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just, all that. We got to balance it, right?
I get it. I get it. Two guys working and one enjoying.
Yeah, right? So,
yes.
I'm like, let them do the work.
I guess.
The work's in moving around when you're doing Marco Polo, right? So that's where all the work.
That's why I'm thinner, because I'm always swimming.
Oh, here we go. I knew we were going to get there.
But,
What did you keep saying? There's always one of those guys at the table.
One of those guys. Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Already
Zach,
dropping.
already shots fired this early, bro?
You knew it was coming.
You knew it was coming.
Keep you guys separated over here.
Yeah. So, Michael, welcome back is the thing.
Yeah. So it's very cool to be part of this. And just so you guys know a little bit of my history with Solenis, this is the only company that I work for in the industry. Been 17 years coming up in June. Bounced around the company, had the privilege of getting to know different parts of the business. So worked with corporate accounts, worked as a territory sales manager, regional sales manager, both on our mass side of the business and our pro dealer channel. So it's been a long ride. It's been very, very enjoyable, and continue to be on that path to find new exciting things down the line in the industry. And we talk a little bit about that today, but we talk about it a lot every day with our customers as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, for everybody listening, which you had to remind, like, we go way back.
Yeah.
Way back to the first Instagram lives that we ever did, huh?
Yeah.
That was a very long time ago. So we were talking about it last night, joking around, and it was like, it's already been like 5.5 years back then, you know? So
I think it was March of 21, if we look back at the timeline.
March 21. Yeah.
So it's I think we're like episode 17 of your Instagram Live. So it's out there on YouTube if anybody's interested in it. We talked a lot about slow dissolve cal hypo at the time. It was a big discussion at the time.
Yeah, it was great. And a lot of knowledge. And we talked a little bit about your journey yesterday, but it's kind of neat because you've been in a lot of the different pockets, right?
Yeah.
And I think people become, and I shouldn't say like powerful, but just more like super knowledgeable about what it is that they're doing when they've been in all those different pockets. You get to see things very differently than somebody that's just been kind of in one corner of the industry. Yeah. So I know that you got a lot of knowledge, and we're definitely going to talk about that. Before we jump in, I want to talk about a couple things really quick. June 6th at Heritage PEP branch, we are going to be doing a Heritage Pro Service Academy. We're going to be doing hands-on. There's about 5 different classes that we're going to be doing there. We're going to be doing heaters, pumps, automation, variable speed motors, deck coating out there. That's going to be June 6th in Van Nuys. The beautiful part about this one is part of the Heritage Pro Service Academy. So believe it or not, Heritage will cover all of the education for everybody that registers. So there is no $250 charge for the classes out there. So if you want to go to Pool Nation, there's a button there that says Heritage Pro Service Academy. Click on it, register. You'll be able to register. If you want to bring an employee, if you want to bring 4 employees, if you want to bring 10, you can just sign them all up right there and kind of come out. We are going to start some of our certification processes there. So, for those of you that want to start to that process, come on out and do that. We do have some tea that we're going to spill, and I got to share with you some of the emails that I got a little while ago. But the other thing that I want to do is just kind of give a couple shout outs out here for everybody. Before we get started, Jeanette, as usual, good morning. Big shout out to you out there. And then we're going to put your team on the spot to see if who's coming over to say hi. So I'm going to ask you to throw a couple names out to see if they come over and they play. But anyway, Sharper Image, big shout out to you. Leon Brown, Javi, big shout out to you, brother. Tori Nicholas, let's go. AquaStar, Benny, big shout out. Here is Darling, big shout out. Kay Brooks, and I'm not even sure I can pronounce this one. EnCore, Crespor, and Justin. Big shout out to all of them. So I am going to put a shout out because I know a lot of people from the Solenis side, and they told me they were going to be listening and they were going to be watching. So here's the challenge. You got to go into the chat and you got to say something embarrassing about Michael and something embarrassing about Robby.
I love it.
Edgar is just kidding. He does not need that.
So, So, anyways, let's get started. Let's kind of get into this a little bit. I'm excited about the topic that you guys are going to talk about, and we kind of geeked out a little bit yesterday because we're going to be talking about, hot water chemistry, right? And a lot of times, and it's happened to me, it's happened to my employees, but we kind of try to treat that spa just the same way as we would treat that pool, and then obviously that really kind of backfires. So we're going to talk about a lot about that hot water chemistry, the spa chemistry. But before we do that, Robby, it's been a while since you've been here. It was actually February last year. I looked it up yesterday. Michael, tell me how many calls I got from him in that year.
Yeah, that's
And moving on to the next subject, so hot water.
yeah, that's a touchy subject.
That's a touchy subject. So as you guys could tell, I'm a little bothered by it. But anyways, Robby, for those that don't know who you are, tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do at Solenis? All that good background.
Yes, sir. So, yeah, thank you for having me back again. After a very busy year, I have not been in contact with you guys, but definitely missed it. But no, Robby Walker, regional sales manager for Solenis, newly promoted to that in the central region, was a territory sales manager prior to that, started back in May of 2019. So right at 6 years. So excited to still be, moving and grooving along with the company and love what I do each and every day. Married to my beautiful wife, and we've got 2 children, a 20-year-old and a 15-year-old. So life's crazy at some points, but just amazing, blessed every day. So just good stuff. But yeah, so regional manager for the central division on the pro dealer side. So we've got our distribution, we've got our direct side, but loving life, loving the promotion, and newly into it. Started October last year, so just right at 6 months into it.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
In your neck of the woods.
Well deserved.
More often.
So now there's no excuses.
Well, there still will be excuses, but now I just need to be here.
They're just higher level excuses. That's all.
They're better. Which, by the way, right off the bat, I get Robby should be doing voiceover for movie trailers.
I can see that.
Yeah,
Is that a job opportunity?
and depending on the movie, right?
Yeah,
that is
You
correct. Yes.
Hey, we talking Disney. Let's go. Let's have that conversation.
Yeah, I think it
Or
actually
Pixar.
a year ago. It wasn't that exact comment, but somebody said something about yes, my voice. I have been a coach of any sport. Period. Still referee, umpire, you name it. So the voice was ruined years ago, and it's never came back. No matter how much throat spray, throat lozenges, but yeah, I always get something about the raspiness.
Yeah, but it's true. It does sound like a good radio
Trailer,
voiceover.
Transformers movie
Yeah.
coming out.
Give us a-
Welcome.
Give us a little
Well.
just when it was safe to go back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give us a little something.
Oh, now you put me on the spot.
Yeah, like just when you thought it was safe.
Just when you thought it was over.
There you
There you go.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Dang. So, hey, Justin, big shout out to you out there. Thanks for that.
So, Michael, you talked a little bit about your journey in the industry, but can you tell our listeners a bit about yourself?
Yeah. So Michael Villegas, been, like I said, with Solenis for 17 years. And in that time frame, bounced back and forth between several positions. Started in 2009 when we were Arch Chemicals at the time. Was asked to be a regional manager on our mass side of the business, located out to Arizona, and managed Team 17 at that time. We eventually got rid of that part of the business in terms of having what we called brand ambassadors at the time, going into Walmart's, True Values, Ace Hardware's, and merchandising, taking orders and everything. So when we got rid of that, I moved into more of a corporate account manager position, a regional corporate account manager position, eventually national account manager. We were telling the story yesterday. I started some of the stuff, the initial stuff that we did with Amazon when we started getting some of our brands onto Amazon, and that was kind of interesting to get involved with that. I was only involved with it for a short period of time, then moved over to another national account manager position, and then after turning down at the time, Buck Hall was in our pro dealer channel, and turned him down twice before, and third time was a charm, and brought me over to the pro dealer side, and been on the pro dealer side for most of that time since 2016. Short stint working with one of our corporate accounts, and then came back over to the pro dealer side. Now I'm the regional manager for the Western States. Got 4 people that work with me out in the Western States. We recently brought on some branded distribution reps, which has been a huge gain for us as far as that's concerned. Personally, coming up on a 10-year anniversary, married to my wife, Lisa. I have a blended family now of 7. So, she brought 4 into the equation. I brought 3 into the equation. So big range of ages. The youngest is 19. The oldest is going to be 36 soon. So yeah, it's a cool. I used to live off a calendar, not so much anymore because my youngest is now out of high school and she's not as busy as she used to be, and she's more independent. So outside of that, my wife and I just love going to concerts, love going to sporting events, and just doing stuff around the house.
7.
It's funny how that changes, right? So these two are rookies; they don't know that part yet, But it's interesting how that changes. It really is interesting, Once they hit that 18,
Right.
19, and they don't have to be out of the house, but for the most part, they have a life of their own and stuff like that. Like just managing your day-to-day changes, right? As a parent, there's not so much of, okay, well, I have to, bucket time for this, for the kids and that event and this event, and kind of manage that, like you're saying, manage that calendar. Not that it's always a good thing, right? Because it's always fun to kind of be engaged with them and doing it and have something else to draw you to that side. But for you two rookies over there, that's for you. It's coming sooner than for Zac.
Yeah. Zach's got the youngest over there.
Like, give me some tips once you get through it.
I'm still looking for those tips in that book. I mean, yeah.
So, Michael, now you're on the pro dealer side. What does a normal week look like for you?
Yeah. So as a regional sales manager, as I said, I've got 4 people working for me. So our weeks always start out with a meeting of all of our branded and dealer direct TSMs. All of the RSMs take turns running our weekly meeting, where we have all of our support teams, our marketing, our anything that supports what we do as a dealer channel. We'll get together and have a morning meeting and kind of share things, let everybody know what's coming up, where we are from a production standpoint. And then from that point on, my week may consist of getting on the road right after that, sometimes on Monday afternoon, and meeting up with one of my territory sales managers in whatever area they're traveling in throughout the Western states, spending time with them, coaching them up, getting to meet the customers, obviously, because we want to be in front of the customers just as much as territory sales managers are. We need to know what's going on out there in the world. When it comes to, if we're doing things great, if we're not doing things well, we need to know about that so we can fix it. And we get to hear the voice of the customer, which is really important. And then also we get a chance to, find out where we're short on things. What are things, ideas that our customers have that they bring to us and let us know, hey, it would be this is a nice to have, or they just want to know what kind of innovations coming down the road.
Right. I love that. I mean, we talk about it all the time. The best feedback is hearing what you can do better, and that gives you all the ideas that you need to hit. So that's the way to do it.
Yeah, and in our industry, it's funny because it's such a key to success, right? It's for some reason, and we talk about it all the time. There's not too much innovation. There's not too much change. So it's very easy to just kind of go to your customers and be like, "What do you need?" And just by giving them exactly what they need, you're already 10 steps ahead, of everybody else.
Yep. Yeah. And relationship, I mean, we talked about it. This is a relationship driven industry. And if you don't have the relationships with your customers, whether you're a territory sales manager and you're interacting with them every day, or Robby and I as regional sales managers, we're getting it from every one of those territory managers' customers, whether it's on the distribution side and getting it from the corporate side, or the individual branches, or our direct customers. We've got to take care of those problems, which aren't, they don't dominate our day, but there's certainly some out there where, we try to empower the territory sales managers to make independent decisions, but there's those times where, they come to us, and we always ask them, hey, don't come to us looking for the answer every time, come to us with some solutions, and then we'll decide together what the best path is.
Love it. I think there was a Harvard Business Review on that called "The Monkey's on the Back." Don't come to me and throw your monkey on my desk. Come to me with the solutions. So that's awesome. I talked about it earlier, and I think I want to get into like the history of spas and how they kind of came about. And in the early days, treatment was more along the lines, if I'm not mistaken, of just draining it, refilling it, and that was the process. And then at some point, the industry started actually thinking about sanitizing and like residual sanitizers in the body of water. When did that come about?
Yeah, so I mean, if we go back to the very beginning of hot water soaking, the Egyptian civilizations, the Asian cultures, it was all about more of just that soaking type of situation. But there were large baths. The Roman Empire, they nailed it when it came to large communal baths. And it wasn't just for, cleansing purposes. There were spiritual sides to it and everything. And then we kind of adapted out of that. I think I was talking to you guys about in the 70s, the wellness kind of concept started. And it was a lot of these guys who were coming back from the Vietnam War. And they would go to Japan for an R&R, and Japan had these big, huge wooden soak-in tubs where, there was more of like a family atmosphere with those, but they incorporated that into a lot of the R&R that the soldiers were doing, and they brought that back to the States, and they recreated those wooden tubs out of redwood and cedar at the time. But the problem is that wood has a lot of penetration to it, and a lot of the bacteria and stuff like that was getting embedded in that. There was no way to do that, and it was leading to a lot of health issues. And so that's when they started really determining that sanitization was important. Number one, water chemistry obviously was a big part of that. And then, it's been the evolution of getting out of those wooden tubs and into more of the acrylic tubs and, all of the water movement that's involved with that. And then obviously sanitization and water chemistry played a big part in that.
It's kind of cool how that whole thing has evolved, right? You look at it all the way back from the Egyptians and the Romans. It really was obviously not the spas that we see today and what they're used for today, but kind of, the evolution of it right there. I do have to interrupt the podcast for just a second because, I like these right here. So
he's got a big old grin on his face.
I got a big grin. And so I'm getting a message here. That is my dad, Michael. So proud of you. Big, huge heart thing on it. So let's go. That's what I'm talking about right there. So
awesome.
Always get excited when we get those. Always get excited when the family members are out there. So her Instagram name is Here Is Darling. So big shout out to you out there for jumping on and letting us know that's dad, right?
Thanks, baby.
So exciting.
She just got a better allowance this week.
She should have texted that to me first.
That's
hey,
right.
Can you help me work an allowance here? And
Right.
I totally would have helped you out here. So
Checks in the mail, right?
Yeah, right there. So I want to talk a little bit about what the next evolution looks like. So obviously we've talked about, the Egyptians, the Romans, all that. And nowadays, obviously the hot tub industry looks very different. We're starting to see a lot more of the cold plunges. Systems are getting really advanced now. Some spas with salt water systems, ozone kind of becoming standards. Where do you think that is headed?
Yeah, we talked a little bit about that in regards to the combo swim spa with the hot tub on the side of it, and what that entails. And, we see that kind of being the evolution where they're taking both aspects in the wellness process, that, ability to exercise in a big body of water without having it being in ground and needing, a large space, and then comboing it with something where they can get immediately into, a hot tub or, whatever it is, whether it's a cold plunge, and being able to transfer back and forth between that, seeing that kind of evolving in the industry for sure.
Well, and then thinking about like where you were saying, Michael, it was more about the soaking part of it, right? Like more soaking and just being in that body of water, heated body of water for therapy, whatever. And then look at where it is now. Now it's the more jets you can pack in there, the more I've got this. Put it into the swim spa. Now I've got the endless jet running where you're swimming and staying in the same place right there. So I mean, where it's came from to where it is now, I mean that's a whole different ball game. But even 10 years ago, spas didn't look like what they do now. Luckily enough, we've been blessed in this industry that spas are a huge category, and many, many tubs are going out to the backyards. And so, you're going to see them every day. The pool pro is, as they're going in those backyards.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things that we don't think about, but it's a huge chunk of the market, right? There's, obviously we talked about it, the Airbnbs. I did so many of those above ground spas because the pools were older pools. They obviously didn't have the pool and spa combos and stuff like that. But man, you guys talking about yesterday, like I didn't even know that they had the ones where it's like a combo and here's the swim side and then here's the spa side and then 2 different temperatures.
Yeah.
Which is,
Don't they have some now with like lights and TVs and music and all sorts of stuff built into them?
Yeah, I had one that had like the radio, that the speakers would pop up and all that kind of stuff, and that was kind of crazy. But yeah, it's really amazing how that entire industry has changed, and that we're also dealing with the side of like the inflatables, right? The inflatables with the small pumps, and I mean they've got just these units nowadays that are thousands of dollars. I mean, some of these spas are getting into what, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 for some of these big.
Absolutely, all day. And that's the thing. It's like the word wellness isn't going anywhere. It's what particular, demographic or price range do you fall in for that wellness? And it could be that, hey man, I bought a brand at XYZ and it blew it up and it's heats my water up in 3 days and I'm soaking in that. Or yeah, you've got a $40,000 swim spa sitting out back. So the wellness isn't going anywhere. I think it's only going to get more and more, prevalent in our industry.
Prevalent, yeah. So I want to talk about from the pool pro perspective, and does really the chemistry change, right? And and it really depends what tier, what area that they're working on, right? Pool, commercial. Obviously, we've got the hot water, but when we talk about chemistry, does it change from one to the other?
Oh, I mean, absolutely. Hot water is going to affect so many different things. Even the chemicals that you're applying to it, the way they get applied. Think about the jets, the aeration. If it is we'll call them above ground or in-ground spas. A lot of your in-grounds are usually attached to the pool, spilling over into it, no cover. But then the acrylic standalone ones, that thing can stay covered, who knows how many days. And then, I'm telling you, we'll get into it later, I know, but it's like, you think about issues or things you might arise in the body of water. That's 25,000 gallons of water with a very large size filter probably on it. Let's back that down to 350 to 400 gallons of water with a filter this big in it, right? And you're hoping it's doing your job in between that 7 days that the pool pro's not there.
Yeah.
Just a lot of different variances that, we said in the beginning. You can't just think, they got a spa, we'll treat it like the pool. Just doesn't work.
Hey, I know you got a question, but I'm gonna cut in here really quick because Robby, you have to give somebody a raise. I mean, I think, look, his daughter kind of gave him a shout out, and then you have Kareem over here kind of going, hey, shout out to my boss, Robby Walker, and his direct colleague, Michael. Awesome leaders at Solenis. I just sent him a message that we're going to put in a raise request for him.
Well, I'm going to do better. Kareem, you can have the day off tomorrow, sir. Okay. Ashley, tomorrow and the next day. How about that? See you Monday.
Oh, absolutely love it.
So when you talk about wellness, and that's, like you said, that is not going anywhere. You're seeing more of it just in everywhere in menus and things like that. It's a priority. And I think about cold plunges and like how you start seeing like social media, those are really taking off. There's a lot of benefits to them. It's a category that's really growing fast. When we're talking about cold plunges, how is that different than treating a hot spa or pool? What kind of varies there?
Yeah, one of the things that's really different is the dissolution rate of the products that you're using. Cold water tends to slow down the dissolution rate for any granular or tab or anything that you're using. If you're using liquid, not so much. So liquid products are really popular with the cold plunge industry. We manufacture at Solenis a product that a lot of people have grabbed onto as the go-to for sanitization and oxidation with the cold plunges, just because it is in a liquid form and it does a job just as well as your chlorines and your bromines.
And that's not like cold water. That's cold
water.
Freezing
water.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you guys done a cold plunge?
I have not.
No. You, Robby?
I have. We were actually in Mexico, and it was about 45 degrees, and I believe I lasted all of 32 seconds.
That's 32 seconds longer than I would have lasted.
You
Because I'm
would
like,
not
no, I
last.
wouldn't even get in. I'm like, no, thank you.
You know what's fun? I mean, because you're doing it and you're kind of stepping down and you're doing your breathing. Like, I didn't even have a clue what I was doing, but your body just kind of reacts. You're like, oh, if I just plunge into this thing, I'm literally not going to be able to breathe. So you're practicing your breathing. You're doing all this. So even in my 32 seconds and 40-something degrees, you felt better once you got out. So definitely the thought is there. You know it. But, boy, getting in 40-degree water every day is just takes a lot of discipline. Let's say that.
And so they walk you through how to breathe. I wouldn't have thought of it. I would have like get in and just walk in.
Yeah.
So they kind of prep you and breathe or no.
Kind of, or I think as cold as it is, you just slow down and start breathing.
It's just a natural.
It's just your body says, don't do this, right?
Yeah.
So, cold plunges are like a big deal right now. But, we were joking about it, I think, yesterday. Cold plunge as a theory has been around in the athletic field for quite a while. I mean, in the 80s when I was playing ball, that was like a go-to thing. You get off the field, for recovery. We'd have these big stainless steel tubs and dump bags of ice in it, and water got cold and you jumped in it, you were in there, and then you got out. And, there's no sanitization going on in those. So that's kind of scary. Guys coming in full of sweat and jumping into those things, not taking a shower before anything. But that concept's been around as a wellness theory, so to speak, for quite a while, at least, since I was involved in sports back in the 80s.
And if you think about it, it's true because like all the sports things that you watch and all the news, it's the guys are in these big ice baths sticking in there.
Yeah.
We were talking about it. It's like pictures with the big, ice packs on the, thing and stuff like that. Taped up.
Cryotherapy now.
The cryotherapy, right? That's pretty crazy.
The
Pretty
closest
crazy.
we ever got when I was a kid, we had in Idaho, we had a spa. And we'd get in it, and then we'd go roll around in the snow, and then jump back in.
Oh, no.
It just stings.
No.
It's
The coldest I've gotten to the cold plunge. So I was born and raised in Puerto Rico. Beach, average temperature 88 degrees.
Yeah.
I go out to California when I was like 18, and a whole bunch of friends like, let's go to the beach. I'm like, let's go to the beach. And so I run out to the beach, take my shirt off, and I just made a straight line for the ocean. And as soon as my ankles hit the water, I like stopped and I said, what the hell is this? And I'm like, I came out and they're like, that's it. I'm like, I'm not getting in that thing. And I'm like, never again did I even put my feet in the water in California. It was like freezing.
There was that body. Your body told you absolutely not. This is not meant for you.
Yeah. And I literally went like petrified, like into like a rock just stopped. I'm like, what the heck is this? So, let's talk a little bit about, the water chemistry specifically. And I know it happened to me at the beginning too. You get into it, you don't have a lot of education. So you start managing these spas, and I kind of started treating it like, another body of water and stuff like that. But it's a completely different animal, right? So can you guys explain the big three reasons spa chemistry behaves differently than a regular pool?
Yeah. So if we're talking hot water or cold water, it's obviously the dissolution. With hot water, things dissolve much quicker as opposed to, like we said, with the cold plunges, and the dissolution reaction is a lot slower. So that's one thing. Microdosing. So, in a pool where you got 25,000, 30,000 gallons of water, as opposed to dosing, at maximum for most spas, 500 gallons of water. And what that means in terms of the teaspoon philosophy, as opposed to, pounds when we're talking large bodies of water. So that's the other thing. And obviously the battle that you fight constantly with aeration and pH rising as a result of aeration, with all those jets running and the bubbles and everything off-gassing, the aeration is naturally raising that pH. So you're fighting that on a daily, minute-to-minute basis. Just when you think you have everything locked in, you start turning those jets on, you get water moving, and you get that aeration. The pH starts rising pretty quickly.
Yep. And number one, you think hot water is wanting to be a breeding ground for everything that you don't want to happen, right? Like it's part of nature, right? So you get that 100, 102 degrees, and then you put some bodies in there. Sanitizing and keeping it safe is priority. And it's happening, right? So you got to make sure you treat it.
What happens to those bodies when they get in there?
I think we're getting that to the biofilm later.
So I heard like some stat, and we kind of have on the in-ground pool side with dogs.
Yeah.
We have a
And
similar
ducks,
stat.
yeah.
Yeah, but that 12 people in the spa are the equivalent of 150 people in a pool. Is that accurate? And what does that look like for sanitizer demand?
Yeah. No, I think that probably I think we said it yesterday. You could ask 8 people and get 8 different answers on that, but the philosophy isn't changing. It's a lot. So I definitely would think that'd probably be an understatement. There's another stat out there where it's, the average person in 100-degree or more hotter water, right, could be a bathtub. Because essentially a spa is just a bathtub with a filter and some sanitization in it. But the average person will let go about 15 to 16 ounces of waste. Now that's exfoliating, that's sweating, we'll leave the imagination up to you. The rest of it.
The waste. And,
Yeah. So now let's put 4 of us in there, right? So we're talking 64 ounces. We're a half gallon every 15 minutes.
Every 15 minutes?
Yes. So, yeah. Are we going to a spa later?
I don't know if we're close enough yet.
Okay, maybe next episode. All right.
I think I'll do a cold plunge.
There you go. That cold water's sounding better and better every time, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a stat you get. So it's when we talk sanitization and we talk hot tub and safety, right? I mean, the wellness is there. The homeowner wants the wellness, the benefits of it, the therapeutic. Make sure it's safe. And that's what we'll go through today is just some applications of what products can do it. Hopefully learn a little bit today and to each their own on which direction they go. But that's just mainly keeping it safe.
Right. And then you guys talked a little bit about it, but maybe we could talk a little bit more in detail because we talk about it on the pool side all the time. And Bob was huge on this on the aeration side, right? And so we're always talking to pool pros, helping them solve issues. And then it's like the customer has the little water features and the waterfall, and they're constantly fighting that aeration. And Robby, you were talking about it. It's like these spas nowadays have, freaking 20, 30 jets in them. So talk about what that does to that water chemistry constantly.
Yeah. So, we talk about the specific type of sanitizer you're using and where it is on the pH scale, whether it's acidic or base or somewhere neutral. So that's one of the factors that you're taking into consideration when you're balancing especially your pH after you get your alkalinity where it needs to be. But then you've got to take into consideration how long the jets are running for, how much aeration is, and like Robby said, you can have spas that have 50, 60 jets on them these days. And just imagine all of the aeration that's happening, all the turbidity, the turbulence that's happening with that and how that's affecting pH immediately. So it's really important from a chemistry perspective that you've got everything locked in, especially your alkalinity. And, if it's acidic, if you're using dichlor as your sanitizer, you have to take that into consideration because it's already acidic. So maybe you run your pH a little higher, but then you have to balance that with the fact that pH is always wanting to rise with the aeration, right? So it's a delicate balance. It's something that, we tell people, it tests almost twice as often as you do on a pool just because of all of the factors that we talked about with bather load and aeration and what chemicals you're using. So it's a little bit different of a beast for sure than taking care of a pool. I mean, you're still doing a lot of the same ranges for pH and alkalinity that you would with a pool, but you've just got a lot more battles that you're fighting on a daily basis with hot water and aeration and all the things that go with using a spa.
Yeah, and then we're talking obviously hot water, right? Hot water is going to grab those chems and just break them down a lot faster. And there's a lot of customers that will just have the spas at 104 the whole time. They don't lower that.
And there's a lot to the smaller body of water, like you touched on, and the dosing. Yeah. And I think a lot of pool pros out there, they fall under that trap. And same with us, we get these small little like spools, and the homeowner's like, well, it's a small body of water. Like my price should be less for maintenance. And it's like, no, this thing's actually like way more of a pain in the butt for us to take care of, because like I always think of that meme guy that with the steaks and he's always salting it like this with his arm. And it's like, that's how we got to treat those bodies of water, right?
Sprinkle.
Sprinkles, teaspoons, like you were talking about. And so a lot of times it is a little bit more work. And I think that's something that people should be mindful when they're looking at these things.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's that thing, like you don't have the education. And I have shared that happened to me. So I remember being in Puerto Rico, having a vacation rental, one of my guys going over, and it was that was an aha moment for me because he's like, well, it was a little kind of cloudy, kind of getting a little greenish. I just kind of threw half of a pound of dichlor into this thing. And I'm like, no. I'm like, no. And he's like, well, I just wanted to flip it really quick. And I'm like, well, now we have to empty it. Like, right? Like to if you have people coming in, there is no quick, the damage is done.
Right.
With what you did. So I do have one question here that I'm going to ask you guys. And so Anibal is saying 1 gallon of pure human juices per hour.
See, I told you we were underestimating. We were dosing that.
Oh, damn.
I love this label. Yeah. Human juice. I love it.
And then Day, hey Day, big shout out to you out there. Day is saying foul. I love my job? ?
Yeah, for sure.
And then the next question, and I do have a couple other comments because people are jumping in, but what do borates do for hot water? Do borates work in hot water?
So borates, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have, it's more for pH balance than anything else. Borates, hey, look, they have lots of benefits. We've talked about it in the past, but, from a pH balance perspective, borates are great. We have, the industry has pH products that include borates for that purpose to kind of help you keep that pH locked in place. And then not to mention the softening principle, depending on how much borates you're using in the water, because there's certainly a line where you're not using enough to really see the effect of softening the water. And it's certainly got some algistatic properties to it as well. So lots of benefits with it, and the clarity of the water as well.
Yeah, and you suppress that CO2 in the water. I mean, you just you're stopping a lot of the what ifs and the aeration and all this other stuff. So yeah, it's huge on the softness of water, but also the pH regulation or regulating side of it.
Do you guys see a lot of usage of borates in spas? I know
not
that
as much as we'd hope. So we've when you look at it, and again we go into the necessities, right? And from the Pool Pro or the retail store, it's like, is it one more thing? Yes, right. But man, would it make your life a whole lot better?
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. And that's same on the pool side. I mean, there's not a year that goes by I don't have borates in mine. In my body of water, my pool.
Yeah.
I've got a spa. Have I ever put it in my spa? No.
Why
not?
Come on, Robby.
I talk about the features and benefits, but I've never put it in there, So I'm my own worst enemy here.
Yeah. There's the essentials that we talk about that you want in the water every day, right? But then there's the supplements that we talk about. Well, borates kind of ride that line, right? Is it really a supplement or is it really a benefit, something that's an essential chemical that we should have in the water? Yeah.
I think we should make it essential as an industry.
Yeah,
I agree.
And we're big believers in borates.
Yeah,
and so, but yeah, and I hadn't even thought about that from that standpoint too, right? Especially because you have all these jets and you have all these things. So if you have that is helping you. And we talk about it all the time. We're not here trying to sell products. We just tell people, right? People will say, well, I could do it with chlorine and pH. Can you do that? You absolutely can.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, right? But you have these other tools at your disposal that you can use to make your life easier. Yeah. So why wouldn't you want to have those? And you can pick and choose whether it's a clarifier, whether it's enzymes, whether it's borates in that spa, right? That are going to make that job a lot easier for you. I think, like you're saying, it's the essentials and kind of, where does it fall? But I think borates are a big one. I do want to come back really quick, and then I have another question for you guys, and that is 2 of the best Pool Nation seriously never misses on their guest picks. Who is Brighton?
Britton Pine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Britton Pine.
She's one of our territory sales managers down in the Southeast. Thank you for that, Britton.
Down Southeast.
Telling you, the team is showing
up
strong.
They're all of a sudden showing up. I'm liking it. And you know what? It's like field people.
Yeah.
I was expecting to hear Justin, but I haven't heard from Justin yet.
The marketing guys. They sit in the background. They're in the back.
Justin. You know what, Justin? I'm going to text you right now is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be like, where are you? So, maybe if Justin texts, you guys can both have the next 2 days off, like you were saying.
I think I'm going to go ahead and plan to have those off.
Sorry.
Actually, I'm not. I'm working tomorrow.
Robby, you seem to be the guy that you are plugged in 24/7. Am I right or am I wrong?
I try to be.
You are.
Yes, sir.
Like,
I am.
You
I love
are.
it. I eat, sleep, and breathe it. I mean, I do. I just want to, you want to be that advocate, that helper, that whatever. For all things related, just I just eat, sleep, and breathe pools. That's all I've ever done.
So Michael and I are catching up. We're talking stories. And he's in the background, and all you hear is the little clack, 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 clack. Yes, sir. Yes, absolutely. And it's helping people troubleshoot and robotic cleaners and all that kind of stuff. And Michael and I are just kind of catching up with him.
Spring in the pool business. If you get an hour behind, you're 2 days behind.
You're 2 days behind. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about, obviously, sanitizers for spas. And what are those 3 maybe EPA products that are should be used in spas?
Yeah. So you got chlorine, probably most prevalent. Say that, actually, in pools, yes. But spas, bromine is number 2. And that's going to be probably a 50-50, right? Close second, maybe, than chlorine. And then you've got biguanide, which is your fully non-chlorine system. Which is the fully liquid one that really does great in that cold body of water, cold plunge as well. But chlorine, bromine, and biguanide are 3 different sanitizer options that we have.
And so which one do you think is a lot more prevalent in the spa side of it?
Well, I think from a hot water perspective, and not like Robby was saying, more on the liquid side with cold plunge, but in the hot water, certainly bromine works best in hot water situations, but we see just as much, dichlor blends, bromine blends being used. It's really customer preference. how they want to dose. And obviously we've got a lot of inline systems now that also, from a mineral perspective, which we can talk about as well. But I don't think that there's really a standout on the spa side. Everybody has their preference, and chlorine and bromine seem to play in the sandbox pretty much equally.
Yeah. Let's talk really quick a little bit about bromine and chlorine because, again, typical thing. I started in the pool industry like everybody else, zero experience, had some spas that had bromine in it. And so what did I do? I'm just going to convert them, So I just start using chlorine. I'm like, I don't need to use bromine anymore. And it's like, well, wait a second. On my spas at a zero, like 24/7. Talk a little bit about that, the bromine and the chlorine.
Yeah, the efficacy for bromine is much better in hot water. So it tends to stay in the water a lot longer. It's less affected by temperature. So it seems to do a little bit better of a job from sanitization perspective, as opposed to, dichlor being the main chlorine option, and doesn't hold up as well in hot water. So that's why I say, there's people who get education on one sanitizer to another, and they would maybe tend to, as they learn more about the differences, tend to lean more towards bromine because they hear that it does better in hot water. And who doesn't want sanitizer that's going to be in the water longer, right? So they may tend to drift that way. But then there's certainly the other option, non-chlorine, non-bromine that's out there and available. And there's certain people that will latch onto that as well. Maybe they've got skin sensitivities, or they just don't want that chlorine or bromine odor, smell. So there's, like I said, lots of different options, and it's all about education and customer preference more than everything else.
So I want to ask, go ahead, Robby.
Well, no, I was just going to say, I think from the Pool Pro side of it too, that possibly is taking care of that spa once a week. Couple things. One, the bromine, most common form is the 1-inch tablet form, right? So you're putting that in a floater. You're adjusting the bottom of it. So it is hopefully slowly dissolving throughout that 6 days and 23 hours you're not there. And then I think on the other side of it is, as Michael touched on, bromine will be more effective at a very different pH scale, right? So chlorine is most effective at the lower the pH. So 7.0, 7.2, don't quote me, but 70-ish% chlorine effectiveness at a low 7.0, 7.2. The higher that goes, the way less the chlorine's effective. Where bromine, it's holding steady at a good 70, 80%, I believe, effectiveness, all the way through the pH scale. So 7.0 up to 8.0, somewhere in there. So you get a little more leeway in there. So for the Pool Pro, I'm thinking bromine, hey, a little more of an insurance policy that you're covered throughout that 7 days you're not there.
Especially with all that aeration and all those pH things that you're fighting in there. I want to ask about biguanide.
I gave you the question, yes. I was going to botch it, so I gave him the question.
I just love the way he did it. It was biguanide with the fingers.
So that's something, and I think a lot of people like myself, like I've heard the term lots of times. I've never dabbled in it. Can you kind of talk about what it is? When does it make sense? Kind of what is the golden rule when using it with a spa, when balancing a spa with biguanide?
You want it?
Yeah, sure. I'll take it. So, biguanide is the only other EPA registered sanitizer that's out there for pool and spa recreational usage. And it was synthesized back in the late 50s. PHMB, as it's known, other than saying biguanide or polyhexamethylene. Biguanide.
I knew he was going to get that word out.
Exactly. Late 50s, it was developed in England by Imperial Chemical, and it took a long time before it was, ICI, which was one of the forerunners of our current Solenis business. They submitted to the EPA in the late 70s under the AquaStar brand to bring biguanide into the pool industry as a sanitizer. It took a couple of years to go through EPA registration. We're actually coming up September of this year. It'll be the 45th anniversary since we got EPA approval to use biguanide as a EPA-approved sanitizer for recreational water. So big deal there. In the mid-'80s, AquaStar was introduced as a brand into the industry, and it really is about a non-chlorine, non-bromine option, which were the two main sanitizers out there at the time. And it really took hold both on the AquaStar side with above ground pools because it increased the life of the liner. So even in vinyl liner pools, increases the life of the liner. It's not as harsh on your skin. It's pH neutral, so and it's not affected by UV. So there's lots of benefits to using it. And again, people who have skin sensitivities really it became an option for them to actually get in the water and enjoy it, and not have that skin irritation. It doesn't irritate your eyes. But there's a lot of work that goes into it as well. But there's the same with ranges as far as parts per million in the water of your sanitizer, oxidizing out the water. We're using peroxide, heavy strength peroxide, to oxidize the bi-waste that's created when you're using biguanide. So a lot of the same principles for sanitizing and oxidizing, just with a different approach.
And with all three of those, like it's choose one. Don't.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
There's some different, with bromine, you don't want to use it with chlorine, and with Aquasil or biguanide.
Yeah, heavy incompatibilities with bromine and chlorine when you're using biguanide.
So I want to talk about kind of the delivery methods, and we're talking about sanitizer, and how does it actually get in the water? Is it, granules, inline chlorinators? What methods do you really recommend, and what ones would you steer pool pros away from?
Well, I mean, we talked about it last night, just kind of, with each other. Is 10 years ago, let's say dichlor, we would say, oh, it's just grainer, put into the spa, right? If you don't put it in, it's not. Well, nowadays, double check your spa, because there's at the OEM level, right? They're coming out with canisters or pre-plumbed systems where it's already got a cylinder full of dichlor or bromine or different one. Or we talked about, a lot of the tubs now are coming with salt systems built onto them. So, I mean, delivery method could be a lot of different ones out there. But, dichlor, always granularly added. Bromine, you do have some granular bromine out there as well, but majority of that's going to be used in the 1-inch tabs that go in a floater. And then the biguanide is more of the liquid. And that's where, being the liquid version, we just really highly, I know we've said it 5 times already, but the cold plunge of cold water. I mean, we all know it, right? Like, I mean, no grain or product likes cold water. It's about like me and Edgar. We don't like cold water, just like our products don't either. So that's where that liquid just comes in for that cold plunge.
Be sitting on the bottom when you get back for the next visit.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
So there's 2 things that I want, and I hope everybody takes from this, because I've obviously made all of these mistakes as I was going through my journey. But that's 2 things, right? That A, residual always has to be measurable, and there always has to be a residual in that water. We talk about that at any body of water. That has to be a number 1. And then number 2 is that you balance first, right? And then you sanitize. But maybe you guys can explain a little bit of why those 2 rules are so important.
Mm-hmm.
You want me to take that one?
Yeah, don't mind.
Yeah. So obviously water chemistry is the most important thing, right? I mean, you want to start at your source water and know what you're filling your tub with when you're doing a fresh fill or you're draining and refilling. So knowing your source water, because that's going to affect, once you get that fill fully done, that's going to affect how you treat your, working on your total alkalinity and making sure you get that locked in, because that's the most important thing, is getting that locked in. Then you can start to work on your pH. And you always want to retest after each one of those phases as you're working yours. So alkalinity's first, pH is next, then you're working on your calcium hardness. And then you start to worry about things down the line like TDS, age of the water, and things like that. But before you ever want to put a sanitizer in, because remember, we talked about this earlier, sanitizers sometimes have an effect on your pH as you're adding it. They're either acidic or they're basic or they're somewhere in between. And obviously we're going to be using aeration as we're turning on the spa and running the jets and everything. So getting your water chemistry locked in before you ever put the sanitizers in is just going to help you keep that where you want it to be, make sure that everything's working in tandem and that you're not doing any damage to the shell or to the inner parts of your spa as well.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit about it yesterday, because I think some of the manufacturers are changing, obviously, as well. So it's important to know that source water, because Robby, you were sharing that some of them, right, don't want calcium up above a certain amount, because then it kind of voids warranty and all that kind of stuff. So it's really important to know that incoming water.
No, definitely. And then, I mean, even the certain manufacturers, the biguanide, they highly kind of go against it on some of the highly more plastic ones. It's got more plastic fittings and stuff like that. So yeah, it's definitely know your tub, know what the manufacturer's saying. We don't want anybody to get into the warranty aspect to where they say it was something with chemicals, even though we'll argue with them, but we'll adhere to their warranty. So,
Hey guys, let's do this. Let's take a quick word from our sponsors. When we come back, we will get into shock and oxidation. We'll be right back.
Pool pros have specific needs when it comes to general liability insurance. The SPPA program has you covered. With 3 tailored and customizable general liability options, SPPA makes it easy for pool pros to feel secure. Find out more and get covered at thesppa.com. Now available, Pool Invoice. Pool Invoice is a pool billing software created specifically for the pool service and repair industry. It's developed for our industry and only our industry. Pool Invoice is built with recurring billing in mind. You can print, email, text invoices, or even send via WhatsApp. You can add reoccurring or yearly charges, accept credits, and set up autopay. You can even see when customers have seen the invoice. It even has a customer portal where they can log in and see, print, and pay invoices. It has all your customers' information on one page, so you don't need to search through hundreds of invoices looking for the one you need. Just go to the customer profile and it's all at your fingertips. Created specifically for the pool industry, Pool Invoice. Now available at poolinvoice.com. BlueRay XL is the power of minerals working for you. Reduce your overall chemical costs and labor up to 50% guaranteed. Whether you have 20 accounts or 20,000, BlueRay XL's direct pricing and free shipping to the pool trade have you covered. Improving pool professionals' profit and work-life balance is what they do. BlueRay XL, the real mineral purifier. Visit them at BlueRayXL.com.
BlueRay all day.
AquaStar's new pipeline cartridge filters, available in 2 sizes, deliver top-notch hydraulic efficiency along with best-in-class filtration performance, approaching that of DE filters. Uniquely designed, open pleat spacing means 100% of the media square footage is usable. And these claims are backed by NSF test results. Designed with the pro's time and comfort in mind, the patented double locking system improves safety and ease of access, making filter cleaners faster than ever before. Available now. Ask your supplier for pipeline filters today.
Natural Chemistry, a leader in specialty water care solutions for over 30 years, is proud to provide products that make pool service easier than ever before. Its unique enzyme formulations in Pro Series Pro Blend improve efficiency of your pool program while reducing frequency of filter cleaning and scum lines. Natural Chemistry is also well known for its wide variety of phosphate removal solutions that include a non-clouding formula in Phos-Free and extremely high-range removal with Pro Series Phos Remove or Phos-Free Max. Save time, save money, save work with Pro Series products. Stop sacrificing durability or efficiency with the help of Raypak's new Avia HD models that utilize Nidec, their exclusive industry-first technology. Nidec heat exchanger technology is Raypak's latest solution to superior strength and maximum efficiency when it comes to residential pool heating. With 900% more nickel compared to copper nickel in critical surfaces, Nidec creates an ideal surface to protect against scale formation and erosion without compromising on Avia's 84% thermal efficiency. Learn more at raypak.com/Nitec. The next evolution in lighting is here. Universal Color Logic 2.0 from Hayward. The latest in pool and spa lighting was designed with you in mind, making installation a breeze. Upgrades include a detachable cord and first-of-a-kind adjustable lower catch to overcome variations in plaster thickness. As always, Universal Color Logic lights retrofit into virtually any in-ground pool or spa while delivering industry-leading, vibrant color. Visit Hayward.com to discover more.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Pool Nation Live podcast. We come right back, and the shout-out goes straight over to Kareem because, hey, he got a shout-out from somebody else.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Hey, Kareem rocks. He will be at my branch at Heritage in San Antonio on the 29th for a chemistry class. Can't wait to learn.
We are all about education.
So let's go. So big shout out to them out there. And let's jump back. And I know we're already fighting for time. And it's like I told you guys, it's like it's going to seem
too
like,
much fun.
you know. So let's talk a little bit about sanitation and oxidation. But before we do that, you know, we were obviously talking about that residual.
Yes, the measurableness. And so delivery methods, the 3 EPA registered sanitizers, chlorine, bromine, biguanide, just and the biguanide is kind of on its own little area as far as measurableness. But just remember, pool pros and everyone, like, again, spas are, we're not even getting into the meat and potatoes of how kind of clean and fun they can be, or nasty, whatever we want to say. The measurableness, right? You're held to keep a higher level of that sanitizer level in spas. So we want to make sure that we're 2 ppm to 5 ppm. So we're a little bit higher than what the regulation is in pools, just because of all the different bacterias and things that could happen in that spa. So no matter what sanitizer you pick, just keep it in the water. Make sure you're keeping that good ppm level throughout your weeks.
Yeah, you definitely don't want a 0.5 in there.
No.
Yeah. Or 1. It's like,
No.
and we talk about it all the time, right? Everybody listening, you've got to have a measurable residual, right? And it's very important. And then obviously, because we are talking spas, they're smaller, it's hot water, you're getting all these bathers in there. It's better to play it and be a little bit on the higher side and play it safe for those bathers in there. Let's talk a little bit about shocking and oxidation. Obviously, in pools, we talk about that shocking and not oxidation, but let's convert that over to spas because it's very different. So when they're doing that in a spa, what is it that they're trying to accomplish?
Yeah, I think obviously, just like we do in the pool situation, we want to have a regular weekly maintenance program, and shocking, at least on a weekly basis, is very important. But the real key is after use, after a bather load, whether it's just intermittent use or it's heavy bather loads, parties, whatever it may be, shocking right afterwards to get rid of a lot of that stuff that your sanitizer or residual that's in there is working and keeping the bacteria away, keeping all the bugs away. Shocking right after to oxidize out that waste is really important. And then in a bromine situation, you've got your bromine, your reserve, your bank, and then throwing in MPS afterwards. It kind of regenerates that bromine so that it's ready the next time you get in that spa. So you've always got some situation where you've got constant sanitization, but you've also prepared for the next time you get somebody into that body of water.
Definitely. I mean, we battle combined chlorine on big bodies of water. We talk about pools, 20, 30, 25,000 gallons. You're going to get combined chlorine and some, byproduct in that water that you just got to oxidize it out. And, using MPS, that's our, highly recommended shock of choice for hot water, just because it is a great oxidizer and it is going to get in there and get rid of any contaminants that residual sanitizer just cannot seem to break down, kill. So yeah, definitely needed.
I want to ask, you guys were talking about something yesterday and leaving the cover off after shocking for like 15 minutes or something. What is that about?
Well, I mean, definitely just letting it gas off, right? Letting it get some fresh air. I mean, everything needs it. We on the pool side, we battle out with auto covers sometimes, and it's a double-edged sword because, man, that auto cover, I got it to keep all the contaminants out and the leaves out and this and that, but it's got to breathe, right? Same thing with that spa. You want that to kind of get some air, get some gas off going on inside there, let some byproducts again go through the release of air. So definitely. And it, look, Pool Pro, it doesn't have to be exactly 15 minutes, but if you're there, you're hitting the pool, you go to the spa first, let's leave it open. Let's turn the jets on while we're adding our product to it. Let's go dose the pool. Let's come back, turn jets off, put cover back on. So any kind of breathable nature when adding the chemicals and just weekly is just key.
And, you'd be so surprised about how communication is so important with the customers, because these are the things that if you explain to the customer, they're going to do it, right? But you kind of have to educate them and say, hey, 2 things, right? 1, you have the soccer team come over and play and swim at your pool and be in the spa. Let me know, right? And have the conversation and just be like, here's a little bit of extra dichlor that I'm going to have you add to that as soon as they're out of the pool. And the reason why you want to do it. And explain to them, we want to kill all that bacteria. We want to kill all those things that are in there. And we want to have that spa ready. We don't want your, 6 kids from the team playing and then you and your husband kind of go, hey, we're going to go have a relaxing time and then get into that spa. And if you have that conversation, they're going to do it. They're going to want to protect themselves. Same thing with the spa cover. It's like, look, if the kids are out there, whatever, take the spa cover off, let it breathe. So have those communications with the customers, because you'd be surprised when you communicate how well they will partner with you on that. So
Yeah.
let's talk a little bit about biofilm. And this one could probably have its own episode, I think. Right?
It could, and people may not ever want to get in a hot tub again. But
so can you guys explain exactly what biofilm actually is and why it's such a big problem in spa plumbing?
well, see, I think one of our viewers did it. It's just pool juice, right? Or
Human juice.
Human juice.
That's what we're going to call it from now on. Human
Yeah.
juice.
So
You know
we'll
what?
call it.
We're going to make a shirt for Robby, and on the back of it, we're going to just put human juice.
I am
episode
human juice.
298.
But no, I mean, so biofilm, it's a little bit of everybody that's left over in that body of water. I mean, I hate to put it that way, but that's probably the easiest way for our minds to think about it is it's a bathtub with a filter and a sanitizer.
Yeah.
I said it earlier. Water's touching from the top of your head all the way down to your toes. I mean, it's part of it. The way I like to explain it, too, to a lot of people is just, think about your household plumbing. Your household plumbing, Drano, we said it yesterday, just kind of cutting up. Like, Drano's been around for, I can't even tell you probably how many years, because of non-living organics that's coming off your body, let's call it a shower, a sink, whatever, and going through plumbing. What's the difference in our spa? So the spa is doing the exact same thing. So no matter how often you're shocking the sanitizer, you're doing a great job. Again, guys, we've thrown stats of how much waste, how much ounces per, how many minutes in the spa, but just know that it happens. Biofilm will start creating inside the plumbing lines, dark areas. If you could pull the skirt off a spa right now, it's, it's hundreds of foot of plumbing that water's flowing through, and that will start to grab just like it does in your household plumbing. And once it starts grabbing and getting thicker and thicker, and then it's grabbing even more stuff, it's a sanitizer consumption, right? It's a shock consumption. It's going to wreak havoc on you. We've all can think of the jetted tub. I personally, we all talked about it with our kids. Our kids are deprived because they've never been in a commercial tub or a jetted tub, but you go fill the jetted tub up, right? You're in the mountains. We said it with a heart-shaped tub, and you get it all heated up. You turn the jets on, and something black shoots out of the tub. Who's getting in that, right? Like, who is getting in that? And that's that's a thing of biofilm. So when you put it to that nature, it's just there.
Yeah,
and when you put it like that.
yeah, and Robby talks about the stuff that we can't see, like the plumbing and everything. But there's obviously stuff we can see, and that's that scum line that you see just above the water line, right? The scum. So when you've got people in there, obviously the water's rising with the amount of people in it. But then when they get out and the water level drops back down, you've got that scum line that's there, and that's all the body oils, the suntan lotions, hairspray, makeup. Stuff we excrete off our body. We talked about how much movement of water there is and the shedding that happens on your body from that. So, and then not to mention the other things that are going on. A lot of times you see people getting out of the hot tub half hour later. They got a drink next to them, and they're not leaving the hot tub at any point. So there's things going on that we all know are going on in there. So there's just lots of different things that create that human juice.
That human juice.
And the foam, right?
That's going to be a thing, human juice. What's that?
The foam, right?
Yeah, we were talking about that,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The kids get in and they kind of do the little beard with the little, foam. It's
Foam
like,
is not a natural reaction for spas. Some may think that.
What did you call it, Robby?
Well, we're not going to go there. We're on live TV here. But, a lot of people, you just think, oh, foam, it's a hot tub. It foams. No, it's really not. It's not supposed to.
Yeah. So for everybody listening, if you have a hot tub and there is foam, you have got a problem. You got
a reaction of something.
It's not cute. It's not cool. Do not use it to make a beard.
Or
You've
a
got a
hat.
problem.
Or a
Yes.
It could be as innocent as your calcium range, but there's obviously some other things that can be going on. We talked about it. Foaming can, we'll talk about it during the supplement section, but foaming can happen for a lot of different reasons.
Yeah, and so it just indicates, right? There's a problem there. You got to. There's a root cause, and you got to fix it.
Right.
And when I'm talking about biofilm, is it true that even before the spas really even started up, it can be in there?
Oh, I think so. A lot of the acrylic portable tubs we talk about, they have to wet test those. They got to check the plumbing before it's getting shipped to a backyard or a store to get sold to a backyard. So they're doing a wet test, and granted, they've got probably so many coming off a line a day, so they're going through those, throwing water in them. It doesn't leak. Okay, pull a drain, and it's draining water. But we all know it won't get all the water out. So then it's wrapped up, it's sealed, and it's on a truck heading somewhere. How long does it sit there? How long does it sit in the store? Did the store use it as a wet tub and then drained it again? Like there's going to be water left over in there. And we all know sitting water, stagnant water is going to create that biofilm and that nastiness, or human juice as we call it.
So we talked about in the beginning, like the refill and the drain, like that still needs to be done. We're not out of that. So how often should a spa be purged?
Yeah. So we talk about anywhere from 90 to 120 days is kind of that range. I obviously would lean more towards the 90 days. There are lots of people that we know out there that, for whatever reason, whether it's I don't want to pay for the refill on the water or I don't have the time to do it, and they let that water sit stagnant there for quite a while. But the age of the water is definitely a factor as far as chemistry is concerned. You start to get from, how often you have to put chemicals in. You start to get those total dissolved solids. If you're not using liquids to treat your spa, you get that TDS level above 1500. Stuff's either isn't dissolving anymore because there's just no more capacity to do that. And that usually comes from the age of the water. So that's why we recommend doing it. We obviously recommended doing it as part of a maintenance program as well. There's purging that happens with the plumbing and everything, and that's when we talk about getting some of that's nasty out of the plumbing and everything. So there's definitely a regimen where you want to be doing that anywhere from 90 to 120 days for sure.
Yeah, we definitely we recommend. I mean, just flushing water out, filling fresh water in. I mean, obviously that didn't work back in the Roman times, right? Or we'd have never had to sanitize these bodies of water. So there is a process, and it's a great time. You pull your filters out, right? It's a good time to soak and chemically clean the filters, because just simply hosing them off with a garden hose is not chemically cleaning it. I always say it's like taking a shower with no soap. You're not going to do that. You're going to use soap. Well, chemically cleanse the filters. You got them out. Let's hit the purge product in the tub, and let's turn the jets on. Let's get it around. Then let's let it do its thing for 24 hours and continually break down some of the biofilm, the stuff in the plumbing, and then get a good drain on that pool or that spa. So, doing that at least 6 months. We recommend 3 months, and doing it with the chemical aspect of it is so much better than just that simple drain and refill, because you're not doing anything to the inside of that plumbing. And Michael talked about it with TDS. We want to spas. Probably 90% of the usage of spas is at night and a light's on. Lights in our industry for the pool pro is the most aggravating. It's detrimental to us, right? Because it shows every little thing in the water. So spas are very tough. You want to make sure that you got the best quality of water in there.
Yeah. You want the best quality of water and the crappier lights.
Yeah.
Dim the lights.
Dim lights.
Set the mood. Set the mood.
Let's talk a little bit about supplements in the pool industry. I mean, in the spa, because obviously, like ozone, UV, AOPs, or that's becoming really common on a lot of these new spas and stuff like that. Are those replacing the primary sanitizer in these spas?
No, not at all. There's whenever you're using ozone, UV, AOP systems, you're always going to use a primary sanitizer. Any one of the 3 EPA registered, they should always work in tandem. Obviously, if you're using something like supplemental sanitization, the load on your primary sanitizer is going to decrease because you're getting an assist from those. But primary sanitizer should always be used in tandem. And then you get the ability to lower the ranges. We still want to be in that 2 to 5 parts per million, but you get to live on the lower end of that spectrum with the residual, because you've got some backup going on there. And maybe your sanitizer, your primary sanitizer is focusing more on something like, making sure algae stays away, make sure that you got good water clarity, whereas the UV ozone is doing more of that bacteria kill.
Yeah, we will always, and we don't manufacture it, but we will always recommend a sanitizer helper. Why not? If you can get an assistant to help you in day-to-day life, wouldn't you want it? So we love them. There's a huge avenue for it. I think it's almost mandatory in a lot of these spas now, but definitely to your question and Michael's point is it's never a replacement. It is just a helper.
Yeah, and you always have to have that residual period in the story.
Yes, sir.
So moving into like enzymes, clarifiers, sequestrants, there's a lot of like supplemental products and that side of it. And a lot of people use these reactively. It's like, oh, hey, I'm having a problem, cloudy water or something like that. And then they start to explore this as like more of an after the fact treatment. What would you say about using those things proactively in your routine?
Oh yeah, by far. I mean, you get the best way. Going to the enzyme question, that is, an enzyme works best the least amount more frequently added. Right, so the least amount I can put in, that enzyme is actively out there looking and going, compared to, it turned cloudy because I had 5 people over last night. Let me just dump and go. Not saying it's not going to get a benefit, but yeah, to have that least amount more often, that works for your regime. If it's a homeowner, a couple times a week be fine. And then it depends on usage. We talked about that with oxidizing, sanitizing, and I think that'd be also with the enzyme treatment. If it's you're an avid user on it, hey, put a little, couple teaspoons in or a couple ounces in every time you get done with it. So we can actively be helping you proactively eat up any of the non-living stuff inside there.
It's like an insurance policy. That's why I look at all of those things like, could we really stick to the fundamentals and like just the bare minimum? But like, why not use these tools available that help so that we have that insurance policy?
Oh, yeah. No, Edgar said it earlier. Look, does chlorine and acid work for you? It may, but man, there's a whole lot of other cool stuff you can use.
Yeah, there's one thing that is listed as a supplement, but it really should be something that you're using every time you refill, and that's a metal and scale preventative. When you're testing that source water, if you're testing it, you're going to find metals in the water a lot of the time, and we got to sequester those. Want to make sure we're not creating any staining or scaling, and we always recommend it. It's part of our regimen with our company. Recommend putting something in the water immediately to help prevent staining and scaling. So sequestering is by far one of the things that I would recommend as not a supplement, but more of as part of that regimen when you're draining and refilling or starting up a spa for the first time.
So let's talk about those, because you're talking about the metals and stuff like that. So, how does, maybe mineral sanitizers kind of come into the equation, and how does that fit into the picture, into the spas?
Yeah. I mean, again, it's a sanitizer helper, right? I mean, that no matter if it's a fixed mineral that you replace 30 days, 6 months, whatever that might be, it's helping out, trying to sanitize the water, but still not a standalone. But again, it kind of falls into that helper, that ozone, that UV, that mineral. There's a ton, right? So it's just keeping still the sanitizer in there, but knowing you do got a little bit of backup helping you there with mineral systems. And yeah, mineral sticks, it doesn't matter how you get it in there. Maybe it's got it already pre-plumbed in the tub nowadays. But if it does, make sure you're replacing that often. Like they only have a certain amount of life they're going to run. Some of them I think are 4 months nowadays, 3 months to 4 months, 90 to 120. But definitely replace that. You ain't going to put it in there and it's going to last 12 months for you. And you're still getting the benefit.
It doesn't last forever? I thought that I thought you buy it and you never have to replace it.
Yeah.
I'll find some of them that it looks like a treasure from.
And it's amazing how, minerals have kind of been introduced back into the spa side of the industry. Silver plates were used back in the Roman times in those big, huge baths that they used to have. They would run the water over these silver plates to kind of help with the sanitization process. So it was the very early beginnings of sanitization where they would use these big, huge silver plates. And as they were, the water was exiting the boiler, the hot water was exiting, it was actually running over silver, some form of silver to kind of help sanitize it as much as they could at that time before they really got into the heavy sanitization in the spa side of the business.
It's an expensive sanitizer.
Yeah.
Salt cells were bad.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have some fun with some of these spas and go look at some of these spas and open them up and check them out, because they've really come a long way.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely crazy. And then again, the cost of them, as well. But I'm really interested in looking at the dual one and kind of checking out, and almost like pretty much 2 spas in one, right? You have to have one for this side and one for that side over there. So guys, let's do this. I know we're running out of time here. Let's do this. Let's take a word from our sponsors. When I come back, I want to get some final thoughts.
Salute. Sounds good.
Pool pros have specific needs when it comes to general liability insurance. The SPPA program has you covered. With 3 tailored and customizable general liability options, SPPA makes it easy for pool pros to feel secure. Find out more and get covered at thesppa.com. Now available, Pool Invoice. Pool Invoice is a pool billing software created specifically for the pool service and repair industry. It's developed for our industry and only our industry. Pool Invoice is built with recurring billing in mind. You can print, email, text invoices, or even send via WhatsApp. You can add reoccurring or yearly charges, accept credits, and set up autopay. You can even see when customers have seen the invoice. It even has a customer portal where they can log in and see, print, and pay invoices. It has all your customers' information on one page, so you don't need to search through hundreds of invoices looking for the one you need. Just go to the customer profile and it's all at your fingertips. Created specifically for the pool industry, Pool Invoice. Now available at poolinvoice.com. BlueRay XL is the power of minerals working for you. Reduce your overall chemical costs and labor up to 50% guaranteed. Whether you have 20 accounts or 20,000, BlueRay XL's direct pricing and free shipping to the pool trade have you covered. Improving pool professionals' profit and work-life balance is what they do. BlueRay XL, the real mineral purifier. Visit them at BlueRayXL.com.
BlueRay all day.
AquaStar's new pipeline cartridge filters, available in 2 sizes, deliver top-notch hydraulic efficiency along with best-in-class filtration performance, approaching that of DE filters. Uniquely designed, open pleat spacing means 100% of the media square footage is usable. And these claims are backed by NSF test results. Designed with the pro's time and comfort in mind, the patented double-locking system improves safety and ease of access, making filter cleaners faster than ever before. Available now. Ask your supplier for pipeline filters today.
Natural Chemistry, a leader in specialty water care solutions for over 30 years, is proud to provide products that make pool service easier than ever before. Its unique enzyme formulations in Pro Series Pro Blend improve efficiency of your pool program while reducing frequency of filter cleaning and scum lines. Natural Chemistry is also well known for its wide variety of phosphate removal solutions that include a non-clouding formula in Phos-Free and extremely high-range removal with Pro Series Phos Remove or Phos Free Max. Save time, save money, save work with Pro Series products. Stop sacrificing durability or efficiency with the help of Raypak's new Avia HD models that utilize Nidec, their exclusive industry-first technology. Nidec heat exchanger technology is Raypak's latest solution to superior strength and maximum efficiency when it comes to residential pool heating. With 900% more nickel compared to copper nickel in critical surfaces, Nidec creates an ideal surface to protect against scale formation and erosion without compromising on Avia's 84% thermal efficiency. Learn more at raypak.com/Nitec. The next evolution in lighting is here. Universal Color Logic 2.0 from Hayward. The latest in pool and spa lighting was designed with you in mind, making installation a breeze. Upgrades include a detachable cord and first-of-a-kind adjustable lower catch to overcome variations in plaster thickness. As always, Universal Color Logic lights retrofit into virtually any in-ground pool or spa while delivering industry-leading, vibrant color. Visit Hayward.com to discover more.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Pool Nation Live podcast. We continue our conversation with Robby and Michael. And I do want to come out here before we close and give a couple shout-outs because we've kind of stopped giving shout-outs because we were running out of time. But hey, let's see here. Where did I leave off? It's Just a Pool Tech. Big shout out. Maria Ensenada, Brandon Greer. Big shout out. Alexa, Rethink Pool Care, Pool Pro Pure, Golden State Pools, Valley M, Day. Big shout out. Easygoing, Leak Service Locators. Big shout out to you. J War, Anibal. Big another shout out to you. Clearwater Pools and Spas. Revved Up Apparel, Academy Pools, Korea Pools, Barstow Pools, Fabrizio, Johnny, Leontini, Cannonball Pool Company, big shout out, SCP San Jose, giving you guys shout outs over here. That's probably your section over there, right? Yep. 7th Gen, big shout out to you, Tracy, and Atlantic Bulk Water. Big shout out to all you guys. Thank you for jumping on here and listening. Mr. Zacharias, let me get some final thoughts.
It always amazes me with our industry and the eat, sleep, breathe pools, right? It's how extensive the industry really is. And, I'm down in our bubble and we're in-ground residential. We're very limited on what we actually do, but there's just so much more to it. And so today, sitting here listening, I've learned a lot. And there is a huge side of this industry where the health and wellness is going to continue to just grow and grow. It's becoming more popular in every area of life, and so I don't see it being any different over here when we talk about these cold plunges and spas and things like that. It's really interesting to me. Thank you for coming on here and sharing the stuff today and talking about it. I had a lot of fun hanging out with you guys yesterday. And I look forward to kind of continuing to learn about this. And for anyone listening, I mean, we talk about revenue streams and micro businesses. Like, this is another opportunity to build onto that.
Absolutely. Robby, final thoughts?
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, it's been a great time. We always enjoy coming and visiting and hanging out. And it's not even a, I know it's a podcast, but it's just hanging out with guys. Like, we just put a set of headphones on and a microphone in front of us. No, spas was a great topic. We went back and forth like, hold on, we don't manufacture spas, but it's something our pool pro sees daily. It's something that, I personally just think it's at the tip of the iceberg. I mean, smaller backyards, smaller footprints, right? Like, I mean, they're putting houses anywhere they could put them, and you don't have that room for that big backyard. And as you said, Zach, the wellness, it is not going anywhere. We all need a little bit probably better wellness in our life. So I think we're just at the tip of that, the swim spas, the combos, whatever that might be. And so we just want to equip anybody that's listening, the pool pros, the retailers, whatever it might be. Reach out to us. We're here to help, and we hope today was a good day. So.
Hey, Michael, the one good thing is I know that Robby's now going to reach back out to me.
Yeah, absolutely. He
knows
knows
now,
now, right?
He's not going to wait. I'm going to hear from him at least before October.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Michael, final thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love talking about this. I did a lot of research before we came on the show and we found out we were going to be talking about spas. And we could literally have 3 or 4 more sessions like this where we could dive down. I mean, listen, we've gone almost, an hour and a half now, and we haven't even named the word jacuzzi. And most people know hot tubs as jacuzzi. And, there's a cool picture that in our training deck that we did yesterday with a picture of that first jacuzzi motor. And thank you to Rick Rowland and Amanda Lane for sharing the model that they had at their shop at Champagne Spas in San Diego. They allowed me to take some pictures of it and see what it was. And, I'd never seen one before. And just amazing how far we've come in the technology advancements with, jetted tubs and motors and all of the moving parts and everything with the spa industry, where we've got these huge, massive swim spas and everything. And just knowing that getting water moving with that first jacuzzi pump, and where we've gotten today. So we could have, several discussions about different side topics with the whole spa industry. So appreciate the time. Allow us to give a little bit of education. Hopefully people leave here with a little bit more than they knew before they got on.
Yeah, absolutely. And these are my favorite, right? The educational podcasts are always my favorite, because it's like, even today, right? Being in the industry for 20 years, you always take something and you always learn something. Yeah. And it's always great hanging out. And we talk about it, right? This industry is an industry of relationship. There's a lot of people out there that still don't understand it, even though we talk about it all the time, and what that relationship is like. And for us, we're truly pool people. And that's, I joke around with you, Robby, but constantly but trust me, I'm the exact same way. I don't turn it off, right? It's pool 24/7. That's it. I could go to the grocery store. My kids get angry at me because they're like, the guy next to you started talking to you, and next thing you know, you guys are talking about pools. How did you do that? And I'm like, well, he asked me what I do. And then, we kind of went down that rabbit hole. But they're like, that's all you know how to do, right? And everywhere you go. So love having you guys in and just being able to spend some time with you. It's that relationship. It's being able to hang out with you guys and do what we love to do, which is talk pools all day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's easy when you love it.
Yes, absolutely. So thanks so much for coming. Let's make sure that it doesn't take another year. Yeah.
Definitely. Well, we got one question.
Yeah.
Is John real? I mean, I've never shook his hand. I mean, is he still out netting pools? Is that what he's doing right now?
He's probably like Flash going around trying to get all his pools done.
Maybe he popped in and out of here. He was so quick I didn't see him.
Maybe he was up on the Zoom and you didn't notice him, right?
Man, I'm just wondering. Just wondering.
John,
maybe one day.
Look, shots fired at the beginning of the podcast, and John, shots fired right as we say goodbye. So, hey, hope everybody has a good weekend. Catch me and John next Wednesday on the Instagram Live. We'll hope that you have a great weekend. Bye, everybody. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Pool Nation podcast, a member of the Pool Nation family. You can listen to us live every Friday here at 9 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Central, and 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. You can find us at Pool Nation or PoolNationPodcast.com, on Facebook, or on Instagram at Pool.Nation. And to find more info about Pool Invoice, the billing software built specifically for the pool industry, go to PoolInvoice.com. Before you go, this is what the pool industry has been waiting for. PoolmanUniversity.com. It's the first platform dedicated to learning the swimming pool service and repair industry. A pool service community where you can connect and find videos on business, service, water chemistry, and repairs. See you there at PoolmanUniversity.com.